we're back with another live workout. I think I decided I'm gonna start doing them like every other day or so, just because it was getting a bit much setting up everything, and sometimes it's fun to work out just by myself. But got another back day here. Gonna talk about some injuries and working around stuff when you get hurt, because I stepped through my friend's attic the other day when we were decking it like an idiot. And this was after we put a bunch of extra cross pieces on so that we could put plywood down. And there were plenty of places to step, and I was just walking across, about to go back down, and the next thing I knew, I was on my butt on a rafter with my leg through the ceiling, thinking, did I really just do that? I just moved into this house like a little over a year ago. And it's a new house too. Thankfully it was the garage, so it's not as big a deal. We're gonna fix it, no big deal. But yeah, I got my leg's still kind of bruised right there. Didn't really hurt, but it got pretty bruised. Got a little cut here from falling on. Thankfully, I didn't go all the way through. It could have been really bad if we hadn't put those cross pieces on, I might have gone all the way through. And there was a lot of glass jars and stuff underneath, so that could have been bad. But I'm gonna get in my first set, and then we're gonna get into this. How can you spot a homeschooler still in their pajamas after lunchtime? Ain't that right? So starting out these rows, warm-up set of 15 reps. Turn the camera a little bit. So let's see, when did that happen? I did my last back workout on Saturday, which didn't go so well. Not because of that, because I got hurt afterwards, but I'll talk about performance issues later. But did that. I mean, my back has been feeling so good the past few weeks. Let's see. But I fell through, hit my butt pretty hard on the right side, and I felt mostly normal. Nothing was really hurting, but then we went to all-day event for my girls' state gymnastics meet the next day, and my back started hurting more and more and more throughout the day until it was pretty bad at night, and I woke up Monday morning just like, oh my goodness, which was supposed to be my leg day. I called up my chiropractor and just went in first thing in the morning, and it was like instant relief. It was still a little bit sore just from hitting it, and I'm sure there's some inflammation, but it felt so much better. To where yesterday after I did my chest day, I didn't really feel it at all the rest of the day. And then when I woke up today, it's a little sore like it normally is through the first half of the day. But I think I'll be good to get back into a leg day tomorrow. But I just took Monday off. I was like, I'll just change it to push-pull legs like most people do instead of legs push-pull and keep going through like that. But man, it is not fun. I was like, my back's finally back to normal. And then usually it's this side that hurts, but this side was just hurting so bad. And so when she adjusted me, it was like instant relief, thankfully. So we got a second warm-up set here with 115. Did he sleep?
Yeah.
You talking to?
Janet.
Janet Chapman?
Uh-huh.
Hi.
Kanan said hi. She says, hey, Kanan.
Alright. So, I'll get into injuries and working around them in a little bit, but my workout on my leg day was good on whatever the last one was. I think I filmed it. But then my back day on Saturday was just not good. I had all of my rows, I did worse. Like regression back to the round previous, like worse than my previous day. Not just maintaining the same, but worse. So that was frustrating, but then I hit, so I don't know if that affected it at all. Have to come back in and fix this thing. Hello? Maybe I'll just do FaceTime camera on here. There we go. I think we're back. Okay. I'll edit that out later. Anyways, we're back. So, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, stuff takes a while to hit, but then I remember like leaving the dentist's office and all of a sudden my mouth just went numb. I was like, well, okay. It took a while, and then so maybe that happened, like the Turk started hitting me halfway through the workout and started doing more. And then when I did my push day yesterday, same thing kinda. I took it like around half an hour before I started lifting, which it says on the bottle. And I did my first 2 working sets were the same as previous. I didn't improve. I got 210 for 2 sets of 10, which is good. I'm glad I didn't have regression. But then every set after that, I did more reps or more weight. So it worked out really nicely. Oh, wow. Having some internet issues here, maybe. Oh well. We're all good. So we're about to see, I took the heavy on chin-ups. I mean, I've been doing my top set with 25 pounds hooked to me, and I got like 12 reps last time. So I haven't been doing chin-ups, so I've been doing pull-ups. So yeah, I mean, I'm not having, as long as I warm up, my bicep issues don't really affect me. We're about to see if I can get this now. It's frustrating last time. But here we go. So this is 175. Shooting for like, hopefully 11 reps, if not more. Ideally more, but we'll see. Come on. Man. I don't know. I'm just not quite getting it. I don't know how I was able to do it before. Now it's getting worse. But speaking of, I see Steve in your comment. We keep our Christmas decorations up in the attic, and there's a little bit of decking up there, but not a lot. And I'll just carry a Christmas tree just walking across the rafters and set it down like it's nothing. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that anymore because that is not fun going through the ceiling. And then it's even worse having to fix it afterwards, especially when it's somebody else's house. So that kind of stinks. What can you do? Man. That's weird. I don't know. Did I like not do the right amount of weight the first workout? Like the one that set the standard for how many reps I'm gonna be doing? I don't know. I definitely feel it. Like after those first 5 reps, it just starts getting hard really quick. But yeah, so, I mean, leg days have been fine. Still progressing like normal. Chest days are kind of stalled. Looks like back days are too. So who knows, maybe I need a higher dose if this turkesterone stuff even works at all. Right now, at 1 a day, it's not looking too promising. But you know, you can do up to 3 a day. So I was tempted to just take some more and see if that made a difference, but I'm sticking with the plan of gonna use it for a month, track the results, then I'll come back, start the process again, doing 2 a day, see if the progress is better, different, then do it again, final time. So I've got everything linked in the description too, my numbers for my last workouts. That's what I'm trying to meet or exceed, hopefully exceed, but at least meet those numbers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, that's cool. So a YouTube video pop up about a camera. If you don't know, I also have a filmmaking channel that I started long before this one. It's got a lot of followers, but teaching filmmaking techniques and stuff. It's what I like doing, making short films, working on a movie right now. Hopefully we'll be done filming this year. It's been a long process, but it's fun and it's cool to see it come together. It's kind of daunting because it's like, you think, oh, I can't make a movie. That's just what big budget places do and all that. But I've made a lot of short films and it takes a lot of work, but when you really think about it, you're watching a movie, it's essentially just a set of little short films because it's, okay, we're gonna film this scene. If you focus it down like that, it doesn't seem as monumental of a task. It's like, all right, we got to do this scene. Let's focus on it, do it. All right, we're done. Let's move on to the next thing. So we'll see how that goes. See if I can get another 10 reps of this. I think my grip was a little narrow, which makes it go down further. I don't know. I'm gonna go a little bit wider and see if that makes a difference. See, if you're doing this without this seal row bench, chances are when it got tough, you'd start cheating and kind of squatting and using momentum to get the weight up. That is one thing I like about this. It's kind of humbling. Not quite. Oops. All right, where do these go? Over here. It's bad enough when you have a bad lifting day and you get frustrated, but then when you have everyone watching you, it makes it even worse. I don't really care. I like improvement, but I also like the way I look. I'm just trying this out for the sake of seeing, once you have been training for a long time, like old Greg Doucette says, is adding in something like Turkesterone really gonna make enough of a difference where it's worth buying a $70 bottle that has 40 pills in it, which, you know, that'll last you a little over a month if you do one a day. But right now it doesn't look like one a day is that good. If you go all the way to the max dose of 3 a day, that would be like 2 weeks worth, right? Because you got 3. I mean, that goes into 40, yeah. It's 13 days, so about 2 weeks worth. That'd be $140 a month to use that. I mean, if you just use on your lifting days, I guess it wouldn't be as much, but I mean, that's a lot of stuff, a lot of money for something that might barely make a difference. We'll see, who knows, maybe I'll be on 3 a day and I'll be like hitting 2 extra reps on everything every day. We'll see, that's the whole point of this experiment, to find out how much of a difference it makes. But and when it comes to injuries when training, thankfully this was nothing that was devastating that's gonna keep me from exercising at all. But I have had stuff before where I've had to completely stop for a week or two just because I had such a bad injury. But like this, you know, I just got the big bruise on my leg, which, I mean, doesn't really hurt anymore. We'll see if it hurts at all doing calf raises. But I've injured a shoulder before. I've had knee injuries, back. And I've seen people before where it's like, oh, I hurt my foot. I can't go to the gym at all now. It's like, well, but wait. You can still do almost everything. Like, yeah, you won't do squats or leg presses or hack squats where you're having to put weight on your feet, but you could do leg extensions, you could do leg curls, you got your whole upper body, you can do all machines. Like, try not to be, the big thing when it comes to injuries is try not to be in an all or nothing mentality, because if you do that, you're gonna make, instead of like, if you can stop completely, you're gonna make no progress, or you can keep going and try to at least maintain the progress you've done on the injured area. or you keep pushing hard with everything else and you keep making progress and you just bring the other thing up once you get better. Like, it's really not that big a deal, but it can be tough if you're like, oh, if I can't do it perfectly, I'm just not gonna do it at all, which is, I see people do that with diet, I see people do that with training. And it's like, well, if I can't train hard, I don't really care about my diet anymore, I'm just gonna eat a bunch of junk. And it's like, well, that's kind of a stupid way to look at it, because like, if you're not gonna train, it's even more important that you're on top of your diet, because you're not gonna be burning as many calories, and you might even start losing muscle, so you need to make sure you got the protein you need. All right, I dropped 10 pounds off, so now we're down to 165. See how this goes. Gosh, it kind of makes me wonder, like, how did I get 155 for 15 before? I'm only getting that for 11. I don't know. I mean, that's one more rep than I got last time, I guess. So that's good. What's up, Zabe? Hurt front rotator cuff. Want to train chest and shoulders. Yeah, it's that's a tough thing, because I know what it feels like. Like, chest is one of my weak points, so I'm always wanting to make sure, oh, I don't want to miss chest day. I want to try to push hard, and I know that feeling. But from what I've done in the past, and I've tried to push through stuff, I usually don't even maintain. Like, my progress starts getting worse, and it starts hurting worse because of that, and then it takes even longer to get better, rather than just slowly working through it, letting it heal. Focus on other body parts that don't hurt as much, and if you can find an exercise that, yeah, seal row bench I got from GMWD Fitness, because I got lower back issues, and I like doing rows. But if you can find something that you can do where it doesn't hurt, like, I remember I hurt this bicep tendon from trying to do, like, maxing out pull-ups with like a 1 rep max with like over 70 pounds or something. And then it just kept getting worse and worse to where it hurt to hold a soda can like this. It was painful. And I finally just got to where I started doing curls really strict with 5-pound weights, and it hurt to do that still. But it was light enough to where I know it's not straining that hard. I'm just trying to get a little bit of tension, move it some, but not push it as hard as my muscles can actually go. And once it finally quit hurting, I bumped it up to 10 pounds, and it hurt a little bit, and I just kept doing the same thing. Would do curls with only 10 pounds. Both sides, even though I knew I could do more, you had to take the ego out. And then I finally worked up to where it took like over 9 months, but now I can curl, like I'll be doing today, 45s on the seated incline bench, no problem. Like, I can feel a little bit of tension on my first light warm-up set I do, but once I get through that, it feels completely fine. It actually feels better after I start doing more. But yeah, the shoulder stuff is tough because I've got shallow shoulder sockets, and I've dislocated both my shoulders multiple times, like where my shoulder ends up here on top of my chest, and it hurts really bad. It's been over 10 years since I've done it, but man, the big thing is, I would say try not to get too attached to a certain exercise, because when it comes down to it, every exercise is just a different way to put tension on the muscle. It's not like, I haven't done squats or deadlifts in almost 5 months since the last time I hurt my back, and I'm like, I don't really care that much, because I would much rather not hurt than hit a squat or deadlift max.
And now a giraffe.
That's kind of creepy. A giraffe, okay. But I remember the last time I hurt my shoulder, sometime in the middle of last year when I was training heavy for a powerlifting meet. I didn't have this machine yet, but a chest fly was the only thing I could do that didn't hurt my shoulder. And so I quit bench pressing unless I couldn't find any kind of machine that didn't hurt my shoulder, but I could do that. So I would go to the gym on my chest days. I could still do some lateral raises, that didn't hurt. I did some tricep work, and I would do just like 6 or 7 sets of the Pec Deck machine, and it didn't hurt. So I was able to still work my chest. I obviously got weaker in the bench during that time, but I was still maintaining the muscle I had from doing a different type of exercise. So if you can find an exercise that doesn't hurt that, even when it gets better, I'd say is the best thing to do. But yeah, I mean, is it like in this, like just the front of your shoulder that hurts? Because I know what you mean there. Like I've had that happen. Something I've noticed too is I switched to dumbbells for a while, and it helps with my shoulders because you can adjust your hands for an angle that's the most comfortable. And also some of the machines, like I like the weight loaded machines where you get on and get in there and it starts in the stretch position and then get it up and just focus on that, because there's a lot less ego to me involved in that. Because when you get on a bench or dumbbells, it's like, oh look, I'm doing the 80s, or I'm benching 225. Whereas you get on that machine, you're just throwing some plates on to where, okay, I'm getting 10 to 15 reps on here, and no one really cares. No one watches you anyways, unless you're lifting a ton of weight. But like the amount of weight's not really on your mind. You're focused more so on just doing good reps and doing the exercise. All right, let's get this last set. 165, then drop 115. Move on to my pull-ups. Come on. Come on. You got this. Got this. Come on. These are Versa grips, one of my favorite accessories I got for back days. These things are awesome. Ten. 13. All right. So that was a little better than last time. Hopefully, keep improving. I mean, I said my last workout, I was frustrated when I did a push day, but I've had it before where I've been stuck for like 3 weeks on the same weight of bench press. It's like 10 reps, 10 reps, 9 reps, 10 reps. And then I come the next session and get like 12. Just skip right past 11. So you never know. There's so many factors that go into it. The only time it really matters is like if you're going to a powerlifting meet or something and you have to lift a weight. And everything aligns to where it works out and you get to your meet and hit the weight, a new weight, everything. You know, you got good sleep, food was on point and all that. Oh, what we got? Yeah, the dislocating my shoulders, man. The last time I did it was after I got in the military. I was in pilot training. Thankfully, I just finished the second phase, so it starts like all academics for like 2 months. Then you fly this little 2-seater turboprop plane where you do all kinds of acrobatics and stuff. And then once you finish that, you do like another 3-4 weeks of academics for the second plane. It's like a twin-engine little private jet type of thing you fly. And this is if you're going like the heavy plane route. This was 14 years ago, so it's different now. But during the academics phase, I was doing overhead presses. I thought, you know, it's been a while since I've dislocated my shoulder. I was thinking in the gym, if I make my shoulder muscle stronger, maybe that'll help keep my shoulder in place. Not realizing it's literally just a joint issue. Like, if the wrong amount of weight's in the wrong angle, messes up. I think I had 65s, because, you know, ego lifting, doing like sets of 5 like this, straight out. Found out my shoulders don't like that angle, and I was getting the 5th rep, pushing hard, and this arm went out a little bit like that, out of plane, and my shoulder just dropped out. Because usually I would fall and like catch myself skateboarding or snowboarding and it would pop out here, but it fell down here. I just dropped both the weights. I was like, are you kidding me? And a couple guys were walking in the gym. I was like, hey dude, can you help me? Like, yeah, what? And I walked out into the little lobby and laid on the ground. I was like, I need you to pull my shoulder back in place. And I'm like, felt where it was. I was like, all right, I need you to just hold me in place because you're gonna have to pull hard. I was like, and just grab my arm and start pulling that way. And the hard thing with shoulder dislocations, you gotta try to relax the muscles because you imagine they're stretching really tight. Like if your shoulder's here, all these muscles are stretched. And I was like, just keep pulling until it goes back in. And it's funny because people do that. When it goes back in, it's like, goes in, he's pulling and like it jerked him back. He's like, whoa, ah. He's like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm definitely okay now. But it's really sore for a few days after that. And we had class the next morning. And I remember we're sitting there and they come in the room and they're like, call them to attention, you stand up, and they tell you to sit back down. I remember sitting down and being like, pulling my hand up like this. I was trying to hide it. Because after like a week I was fine, but these first few days were not good. I don't want to go to the doctor because then they put you on some kind of special profile and you gotta get signed off. They probably won't let you fly for a couple months. And I was like, nah, I know I'm good. I've done this before. I'm out of the military now, so if they see this, oh well. But yeah, I learned a little bit then not to get too attached to certain exercises, but even more so now with like with my back issues. Like I told my wife the other night, I was like, I kind of miss deadlifting heavy because my back hadn't hurt at all for a few days. And I was just thinking about when I did like 475 in here before I went and did my 500 at a meet the next week, and nothing hurt. It just felt good. I was like, man, I really want to do that. But at the same time, I'm like, all it takes is one, and I'm out for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, nah, it's not worth it. It's all about health in the end. I'm probably not doing any more powerlifting meets, so I don't care that much. I do have all these bumper plates now that I don't really use, but hey, my kids can use them as they get older. I am on creatine. I'll show you my supplements in just a second after I do this first set of pull-ups, and we'll get into what I've been diet looks like. That's kind of high. Get a high angle here. Here we go. So this first set I'm just doing, I got 19 reps last time. I'm not necessarily going to failure. I do want to try to get to 20 with no weights, and then I'll start just bumping it up, stay in the 15 to 20 range. Because this first set, it's kind of like semi warm up, because if you're going to failure anywhere between 5 and 30 reps, if you're close to failure within like 1 or 2 reps, you're gonna build around the same amount of muscle, but the lighter weight, the less likely you are to get injured. So I treat the first set kind of like semi-warm up, I guess, because I can do higher reps, so I'm still going close to failure. So my first set of pull-ups is just body weight. And I'm already like I would probably do a lat pull down if I was gonna do this at the beginning of my workout because, you know, my arms aren't warmed up at all, but after doing the rows, I'm good to go. 10. 15. Yeah, got a pump with that. Okay, so I'll talk supplements first and I'll get into diet a little bit. So let me write this down first. I keep track of everything on my notes app. So just like that, the same way that it looks in the description there. Really easy way to do it. That's 20. Sweet. I don't know if I've ever done 20 before. That's pretty cool. So my main supplements I take every day. Creatine. This is a company I use harder than last time, and I've got a link in the description. With the discount code you can use, it saves you 15%. Obviously you don't have to. Creatine is pretty much the same with any brand you get, as long as it's actual creatine monohydrate. I've got a video on this to where I talked about when I first started taking creatine, I started breaking out. It took me a while to put it together. My wife actually figured it out. I came off it for like a month. Breakouts went away because I was in my 30s when I first started taking it. And I was like, this is weird that I'm breaking out. Someone's mad. So then I tried it again, started breaking out again. I was like, well, that's dumb. But instead of quitting, I tried a different brand because I had a cheap Walmart brand. And I thought I'll just give something else a try. I think it was like NutraBio or something like that. But didn't have any problems with it. So like, okay, I guess it was just, maybe Walmart has some cheap stuff they put in it. Maybe it's just sawdust, who knows. But then because you'll notice all supplements, they have supplement facts instead of nutrition facts because they're not actually FDA regulated. Not that I put much stock in the FDA. But when Greg Doucette came out with his, I already used some of his stuff, so I was like, I'll try it out. Didn't have any issues. And then this is the pre-workout I've been using, this hardcore stem. I've just been taking 1 scoop lately and adding a little extra beta alanine in it. And that's what I've been doing. And I also have this vegan protein powder, chocolate peanut butter that I use sometimes. But I've been trying more and more to just eat more real foods and less protein powders. Because even though the vegan one's not as bad as some other stuff I've taken, they still just, my wife can attest to this, most protein powders give me some bad gas, like really bad. And just eating, regular food overall is probably better for me since it doesn't cause those gas issues. But if I'm in a pinch and just need to get some extra protein, I don't want to eat a bunch at the end of the day, I might have a scoop or 2 of that. Or if I'm, like planning on going out to dinner somewhere, I know I'm going to be a higher calorie meal, I can have 2 scoops of that. It's like almost 45 grams of protein and 265 calories. So I get a bunch of protein in early, and that saves extra calories for later on in the day when we go out to eat somewhere. So those are kind of the scenarios that I do that. And then also the Turkesterone that I'm testing out right now. Taking 1 a day. I don't know if I would say it's made me drier or more veiny because I've lost a few pounds over the last month leading into this. So that's going to automatically make you look more vascular because there's less fat around the veins. So I'm not really attributing that to, we'll see when I get on the higher doses if that makes a difference, but I'll do another set of this and then we'll get into some diet. Since I was talking about diet food versus protein powders. All right, I got 12 reps last time. Feeling pretty good today. I mean, after the rows not being as great, but so far, pull-ups are feeling good. So we'll see. I actually prefer like a pull-up machine that has the 45-degree angle grips. It's a little more comfortable and I feel my lats more, but you know, at home, you use what you can. That's not bad. 12. So I got 12 again after getting one extra rep on the previous set, so that's cool. Still making progress, but diet, I've got my app tracker, which I'm tracking right now because I'm trying to make sure I keep my weight within the same range as it was. Hello. During my, what'd you call it? I guess control for this experiment. What you need? So I've been tracking it for that, but probably around 2,700 calories-ish a day on average. Some days it might be 30, 1 or 200. Some days it might end up being like 2,200, but around that. And I typically shoot for my body weight in grams of protein, which for me is around 180, 185. So I typically shoot for like a minimum of 150 grams of protein. Even if I'm not feeling that hungry, like I get to the end of the day, that's when I'll have some of a shake or something, because I know I don't feel the need. I need to hit 2,700 a day, because there's some days you're more hungry than others, or like we're going to a friend's house to have some pizza and like ice cream and stuff, watching a basketball game on Friday night. So I know I'm gonna have more calories that day, most likely. So if I have fewer calories on another day, it's not a big deal. At the end of the week, does it average out? I'm not gonna be doing like 6,000 calorie day versus fasting for over 24 hours, because I don't think that's helpful in building muscle. But that wiggle room helps out. I used to be like super strict on everything. I gotta eat this much, but it's not that big a deal. Like, if you're getting enough protein, one day of me eating 1,800 calories isn't gonna make me lose a bunch of muscle, especially if I'm eating enough protein every day. And I'm not gonna get a bunch of fat on me because I have one day where I eat more. You might wake up and weigh 2 or 3 pounds more. But that's probably because you've got some extra water you're holding from extra sodium. Like after eating a bunch of pizza, probably got a bunch of extra sodium. And I usually have a good session the day after too, just from, I guess, the extra water I'm holding. But let me check in here. Thanks, Wealth is Health, I appreciate it. Let's see, tonight's a night and it's gonna happen again and again. My BMI, I don't know what my BMI is actually. I know that I'm on the high end of normal, I guess. The last time I looked, it was in the caution zone for being obese, because I'm 5'11" and about 185. Apparently I need to be like 160 or 155 pounds to be healthy. But BMI is kind of silly, because it's literally just a weight. It's not taking into account your muscle, which granted, if you're a 300-pound bodybuilder, that's still not healthy. It's probably a little bit better than being obese and it being fat, because you could still keep your heart somewhat healthy, but it's still a lot of strain on your heart. But yeah, so diet. I'll just give you an example of what I had today. Like this morning, I had one of my go-to breakfast. Actually, I can show you the yogurt here. Just a yogurt parfait. I typically mix a serving of these together. This has no flavor and it's a little bit thicker, this Greek yogurt. And I got this vanilla flavored one. It's like 170 grams of each of those. It's 35 grams of protein and 190 calories. Then I add in this granola that I like. It's called Bare Naked. I think it's like Berry Crunch or something like that. It's 210 calories, but that gives me a good amount of carbs and another like 5 grams of protein. And then I'll cut up about 50 calories worth of strawberries. So it's like a 450 calorie big bowl of Greek yogurt, granola, fruit. Sometimes I'll do blueberries instead, but around 50 calories either way. And it's 40 grams of protein, 450 calories. And if I'm more hungry, I'll eat something else. Like today, we had hamburgers last night and we had one patty left over. I just got a 93.7 for the 93% lean. It's like 160 calories and 22 grams of protein. I was still a little hungry, so I ate that just with a little bit of ketchup afterwards. So that put me at like, what, 4 or 5, 6, around 625 calories and like 62 grams of protein to start out the day. And that's what I started with. And it varies from day to day depending on what I have going on. I'll get to the next meal after this set. I got 15 pounds on me now. 14. It's one extra rep. Put these up. It's kind of funny, I was just thinking during that set, from the angle of the camera, I could totally like be standing on a box and making it look like I'm doing a bunch of pull-ups. But I'm not. I wouldn't waste my time like that. I'll check the comments here real quick. I'll move this over while we wait. Oh. I mean, I guess this is kind of my form of online coaching, just helping people out through here. I considered it. I might try opening up a certain amount of people, like have a group coaching type of thing, where we meet once a week to check in and whatnot, and personalized plans for various people. Because I have helped people before and made plans for like some family and friends, but I'm working on my website where I'm gonna try to offer some stuff like that. Some free diet and training plans, and maybe if you want a more in-depth personal stuff, we could get into that. Let's see, 6-ish. I mean, when it comes to body fat, all you gotta do is just slowly cut down. Like I always tell people, they start getting into dieting, you get addicted to seeing the scale weight drop. I know how this is. When I did a bodybuilding show, it was like, just always want to see it drop. And if it would plateau, it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta drop my calories a bunch. But you never know. I ate a steak once as I was dieting, and it made my weight go up by like 1.5 pounds the next morning, just because I didn't normally eat beef, and it had a lot of sodium in it. And it was like 3 days that my weight stayed at that, and then it dropped like 2.5 pounds after that, after the stuff worked out of my system. So it's like, if what you're doing is working and it plateaus all of a sudden, I always tell people just stay with it for like a week with what you were doing. Don't do any drastic changes. If nothing changes, then make a little change and keep going. But if you just start dropping a ton of calories, you're gonna start losing muscle, which is not good. Like that's the problem with Ozempic. It could be 50% of the weight you're losing is muscle, which you don't want, because you're still your body composition overall isn't gonna change that much. So you're gonna lose weight, which is still healthier for you, but you're gonna look the same, just skinny fat as they say. But you want to maintain as much muscle as you can. That's why protein's important in the diet, and resistance training, even if it's only twice a week doing like a full body workout. Give your muscles a reason to not be burnt off, which with Ozempic, you might not be able to control that with what the drug does. But I tell folks, you didn't get fat overnight. It's a slow process over time. It's just a slow process the other way, and it's easy to maintain. And just keep in mind that the same thing you do to lose the weight is gonna be what you do to keep it off. You just get to eat a little bit more once you get to that weight. So find stuff you like doing that helps you to lose the weight. And that's the best way to lose it and keep it off. Try the yogurt brand Ratio. Tastes way better. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'm actually planning on, I haven't made French toast in a while, but I was planning on making it today just to do something different. So I'm actually gonna have that for my meal after working out. Protein oats versus Greek yogurt bowls. When I would use each is basically just what I feel like eating. Like yesterday, I had a protein oatmeal bowl. I typically get into cycles where it's like, I'll have the same thing for a month or two. Then I might get bored with it and eat something else that tastes kind of new and fresh again. And then I eat that for a few weeks and then I switch to something else. So really just your appetite, because like with the yogurt bowl, I'm getting a lot of carbs that I need from that and protein. I guess I would say I prefer how it makes me feel, the yogurt better, because yogurt, it's all more real food, I guess you say, the yogurt, the granola, the fruit, versus the oats and the fruit are still, but all the proteins from powder, which it tends to make me have some bad smelling gas that my wife and 6 kids notice all throughout the day when I do it. And when we're in the car, like yesterday, after I had it. So yeah, probably, if I had to choose something without, and I had it available without the protein powder, I'd probably go with the more wholesome foods now, just because it makes me feel better overall too. Yeah, get this last set in and I'll keep checking on some of those comments. I got 16 of these last time, so we'll see what I get here. I'm telling you, these Versa grips are definitely worth it if you've never used them. I'm not sponsored or anything, I don't have any codes. I think Renaissance Periodization is sponsored by them now, so if you look at their channel, I'm sure they have a discount code. I would check that out to save some money on it, but they're worth it. I've got the Extreme. These things I've been using for like 2 years now. They're holding up great. 5. 10. 1 more, come on. 1 more than last time. Now I can take these off. They're good, but I don't like wearing them all through my workout. All right, let's get back over here. Finishing up this back day with, or I guess pull day, with incline curls mixed with these rear laterals, which I need to get the weights right. It's 90. 110. I think I was actually going to move up the weight today, because I got a lot last time. Yeah, we'll go to 130. It's kind of crazy, because I was doing 200 with my, what's it called? My chest flies. Now I'm doing rear delts with, be doing 180 for my top set, so that's pretty cool. Let's check out. Hey, I appreciate that, Zabe. I'll definitely make a post if I start doing that and have links and everything. Because I like helping people out. There's a bunch of, I'm really, I guess, I don't know if I'd say meticulous or what, but I like to track stuff and really see how it affects what I do. Because so many people say, do this way, do this, work out like this. Like, I've been doing faster reps lately on stuff because everyone's saying, oh, we need to focus on the stretch, really get the time under tension, which is true. Pause at the bottom for a long time. And all that's cool, but there's something to be said about using heavier weights and just enjoying it. And I don't want to sit there forever. Like, if I did that with my pull-ups, I might get like 10, be like, slow all the way down, hang, pull. And I mean, I feel a pretty good back pump right now. So if you're pushing yourself to failure either way, you're probably making progress. I'm having more fun doing this right now. Maybe I'll switch up again in the future and do a little bit slower. But while I'm trying to focus on this experiment, I'm trying to keep rep speed the same. And when you go super slow, it is kind of hard to gauge like, okay, I did better today, but is that because I only did a 1 second negative versus 2 seconds? Did I pause for half a second more? Like, I'm just going through the reps so I can gauge it as close to the same as possible. Hey, the assisted chin-up machine is literally one of my favorite back machines. I like it better than doing pull-ups because I'll get on there and I will do the slower reps on that. And like I was saying, it's got like the 45-degree angles and I feel my lats even more doing that. Nothing wrong with that. I would just suggest, I wouldn't max out like 1 rep max. I would do like 10 rep maxes, which sounds not cool, but you're way less likely to get hurt. That's why, like, even though you might gain the same amount of muscle at 5 reps as 30, 5 reps are more likely to get hurt because the weights are getting heavy. 30, it's just torture to go through that many reps. So it's like you got to find an in-between that's that works for you. All right, I'm doing 4 sets total here, supersets. I'm just gonna start going straight from one to the other. So we got curls, and then I'm gonna do rear delt flies. And 20 reps of each, or I think 15 on the curls. Yeah, 20 on that. So I'll call out like every 5. I remember I had a guy watching one of my live videos before, and he was typing in the reps I did during bench press. Be like 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh cool, now I've got a good record. Because sometimes I forget. That's a bad thing about high rep sets. Something else enters your mind, and then you forget what you were counting, and it's like, oops. But then I had a backup. Oh, see, like right there, I could feel it a little bit in my left bicep. But after I get done with this first set, it's usually worked out. Ten. 15. A lot of people say, why do you do curls like that versus this? Or what's optimal? I'm kind of over the whole optimal thing. Optimal in my book, unless it's just a stupid exercise in general that's not doing much for you, is what version do you enjoy the most? So you're gonna keep doing it and pushing yourself hard. And that's probably optimal for you. Five, 15. 20. Like I was doing dumbbell laterals, bent laterals on this before, and it worked just fine for doing rear delts, but I still didn't really like it. So what worked for me was an ideal exercise for me is this machine that I'm using now, because I actually enjoy it more. And I feel even more of a pump doing that because I can keep my arms straight. A lot of times when laterals start getting hard, instead of going up, you start bending your elbows because that makes it easier. So whatever you feel works for you, you get a good pump. It's probably the best workout for you. Update my numbers here. I'm a little nervous about my leg day tomorrow. I'm gonna just do some good stretching after this. Keep icing my lower back and hopefully everything will work out good. I've got another chiropractor appointment on Friday morning, so straighten anything out, let it rest more over the weekend. Man, it felt like I was feeling so good my last leg day. Like I was back, just ready to push it, nothing hurting. My legs were so pumped. It was crazy. Tried to do mixed for a whole month, lost like 3 kilograms. 3 kilograms is about 6.5 pounds. Yeah, dude, it's just those little amounts. And like, again, you know, people don't get overweight in a day. So you're losing weight. You know, shoot for 10 pounds at a time. Like, lose 10 pounds. It takes a while for your body to get used to being at new weights and just how much you need to eat. Like, lose 10 pounds over like 2 months or so, and then just stay there for another month or two and go into another 10-pound loss, and then stay there, then do another one. And it makes it way easier. And you maintain, you get a break, you eat to where you don't feel hungry anymore, you're maintaining that weight, you get used to it. Then you go back into another one, and it's easy because it's only a 2-month stretch. Then you stop, eat some more. And I mean, it's a lifestyle change. I've heard people be like, oh, I've got 50 pounds to lose, I just need to lose it. I'm like, or 100 pounds even. It's like, well, just shoot for 1 pound a week. If you lose 40 pounds by the end of the year, that's great. Like, but I need to lose 100. Yeah, but it's not gonna do any good if you crash diet, you lose 100, then you gain 50 back. You're gonna feel terrible about yourself after all the work you did and all the starving you did. You're gonna have in your mind this idea that I have to starve to lose weight and have to be perfect, which isn't the case. Versus a year from now, you're 40 pounds less than you are now, that's still way healthier. And you're implementing changes that are gonna last your whole life. And then you keep going, the next year, you're down another 30, 40. And you keep feeling better, and you're just ingraining these things more and more in your head about diet and training and all that lifestyle stuff. All right, here we go. 45-pound curls. My wife's sweater's on top of them. Gotta lock in for these, because curls, people are always like, oh man, you got big arms. I'm like, it's just genetic. I mean, yeah, I've worked them hard over the years, but I really dislike curls. Unless they're preacher curls. Any other kind, I just don't really like. But I'm gonna push through anyways, because you need the physique to match everything else. 5. 10. 'Burning. They're burning now. That's 13 reps with the 45s. I'll write that down before I forget. That's a new PR, 13 reps. All right, let's move over. Last time I did 170 for 16, so now bumped it up to 180. Five. 10. 13. Woo! I feel the rear delts. Feels good. Let's get that in here. 13. Keep my tracker updated. 80. Appreciate all the questions. It makes these workouts more fun. Yeah. So one other thing to keep in mind for losing weight is that you don't want to just lose weight. You want to lose fat. If people see the scale go down, that's like why the Ozempic thing is, people are like, oh, I'm just losing weight so quick. But you don't want to lose muscle. Because you'll end up, you're automatically gonna have to eat less food to maintain a lower weight because it doesn't take as much energy to maintain less mass. If you go from 200 to 150, you're gonna be eating a lot fewer calories. But the more muscle you lose, that's even fewer calories you're gonna be able to eat because your muscle is way more metabolically active than fat. And you burn a lot more calories from the added muscle you have when you're doing stuff. So a 200-pound guy that's 10% body fat versus a 200-pound person that's 40%, the guy who's 10% is gonna be burning a lot more calories. He's probably gonna be more active in general too. And everything you do, you're gonna be burning more calories. And you'll feel better too from having less body fat. And it just helps with blood markers too, like cholesterol. I lost 6 pounds and upped my cardio, and my LDL cholesterol dropped like 20-something%, I think it was. It dropped a lot. So the things that you can't see either are getting healthier. That's why it's just, I always tell people, like, if you're losing weight, even if you're not in the gym, just go do some kind of full body workout twice a week. It could be like an hour. And you don't have to be pushing crazy like me, going to failure, if you're not wanting to build a bunch of muscle, but you want to at least maintain the muscle you have. So just going in and doing like some circuits of like a leg press, a chest press machine, and a lat pull down. Do a few sets of that, and then go and do a few rounds of like a shoulder exercise, a bicep, a tricep, and a calf. And you just did your whole body in like 3 to 4 round circuits in 40 minutes to an hour twice a week. And that just gives your body a stimulus to be like, hey, I need to maintain this muscle along with eating enough protein to maintain it while you're losing fat. And you'll be more healthy overall. And if you can stay around the same weight with muscle and losing fat, it's gonna be even better because you're gonna burn more calories and you'll look better and how you want. So yeah, just try not to focus on losing weight as much as losing fat. And the best way to gauge that, I tell people, take pictures of yourself every like 6 months or so, track your weight because you see the progress on the scale, but then you also see the progress in the mirror, because if your weight goes down 20 pounds, but body composition wise, you don't see a big difference because you're losing muscle too, it's not a good sign. But if you're starting to see more muscle sticking out, more veins showing up, and the weight's going down, it's probably a good sign that you're losing fat and maintaining your muscle, because the muscle is important for your health. All right, another set of curls. Let's trying to talk extra so I could avoid doing this. But I'm gonna do it. Five. Oh man, see that right there is why if you see someone saying they train to failure, but they do multiple sets with the same weight of like 10 reps or more, and they're hitting the same amount of reps, they're probably not going to failure. Because I did 13 the first set, now I only got 10. My arms were toast. I got one more set. Five. Ugh. 11. Man, whew. After that 7th rep, all of a sudden my biceps started feeling really tired. That was 11. Whew. So we got, yeah, well, I mean, loose skin is partially a factor of genetics, because some people lose 200 pounds and don't have loose skin. Some might lose 50 and have loose skin. So that's another reason why losing slowly over time isn't going to cause a huge dramatic change to your body, where that's going to happen is likely. But yeah, building muscle, it'll help for that, because I mean, just like someone asked me the other day, like, how do your veins stick out so much? I was like, part of it's being lean, but also as your muscles get bigger, it's more to push out against them. It's going to make them show more. Like in my legs, when I get a leg pump, these will start showing up. Man, that boy is loud. How old is he? 10 months? 10 and a half month old is in there screaming. He's becoming quite vocal. Is it always better to train to failure? Not necessarily. Not if you're hurt. I mean, you don't necessarily have to train to failure. You're gonna make probably the most progress if you do. But when you're starting out, you don't have to push that hard. The big thing I would say is just tracking your progress. Like I was saying, I just use my notes app to track the exercise and how many sets and reps I got. And I try to push to get maybe one more rep each time I did last time. So as long as you have a progression of getting stronger, even if you're not pushing to failure, that's gonna be helpful. And as you get more used to it, especially if you're using free weights or any machine and you're newer getting into it, you don't wanna just push to failure and have bad form, because you can hurt yourself. You wanna learn various exercises, get into them, so that when you do start pushing to failure, you're not gonna injure yourself. What's he screaming about?
He went at work. Bob's in the other room.
Baby's hungry.
Mom, I want you to help me so I make sure I don't get it wrong.
Yeah, she got a 76.
I'll help you.
Honey, put pants on. She has underwear on, but she'll need to be out here in her underwear. Yeah, he probably will. My girls all like to. My oldest son, he'll work out sometimes. He's not as into it, but I wasn't either at his age. I would see like the superheroes when I was around 13, 14, like, oh, I want to look like that, and go to the gym a few times and then quit. But you know, at a certain point you get to where you like it. And the times they do come out, try to help them, show them what to do, and push them a bit. My girls, especially my oldest daughter, she likes to push herself. She just won state #1 overall around for her group state gymnastics last weekend, so that was really cool. Just moving up to the next level in a couple months. So see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see if that boy ends up being strong. Okay, this is the last set. I do a drop set on my last one. So I'm gonna start with the 40s. I did 45, but you know, I only got to 10 last time. Once I drop down to 10 or less, I drop the weight some, but I don't drop the weight more than 10% because at that point it's like, okay, I gotta sit there, baby. I'm getting too weak to keep going. So I'm gonna do 10 reps, or I'm gonna do as many reps as I can with these 40s, and then put them up and grab the 25s and keep going. Honey, please be careful you don't fall on my computer. Five. I didn't think I would get past 8 on that, but I got 12, so that was cool. Forgot to zoom in here. Drop this a little bit. What are you doing, huh? Let's see. 12. Honey, scoot over some, because you're blocking me. That hurts.
Why?
Because it burns.
Why?
Because my arms are tired.
Because from the sun?
The sun? No, not from the sun, from the weights. Oh man. There's a training to failure where your muscles are giving out, then there's the point where they start burning so bad you just can't do anymore. What grade are you in if you're a 16? Are you in 10th or 11th right now? Because you got a good 2 years. I mean, you're it was, my arms are tired. But if you're in, 10th, or I guess, even if you're in 11th, you got a year and a half, and you can easily see 100 kilograms, that's 104 or 103, you said, that's 206, like 220. You can easily lose 30 pounds over a year and a half and be putting on muscle at the same time. That's the other thing. If you want to be adding muscle, slowly drop the weight so you can build muscle. If you're in a big calorie deficit, it's going to be harder to build muscle. So if you lose a pound a week at the most, while training hard and eating protein, you can be building muscle. And you see a big difference in a year and a half. I mean, I put on, my first year of training hard, I put on like 11 pounds of muscle. So if you put on 10 pounds of muscle while losing 20, you'll only lose 10 pounds on the scale, but that'll be a huge visual difference. Last set. a little bit.
Why?
That's it.
That's it?
If you watched me before, obviously these workouts take a little longer when I'm talking to folks, but it doesn't normally take me this long to work out. Like this back day might take me an hour versus an hour and 20 minutes, but I like helping out. But something I was thinking about just then, when I was saying, you know, putting on that 10 pounds of muscle in a year, you're probably not going to do that if you're only going twice a week for full body workouts. Like, it's probably a minimum of 4 times a week, pushing hard in like an upper lower split, which I've got different workout split programs on the channel you can look up. But that's with intense training hard. I mean, if you're not training as hard, you're getting into it, you could probably still put on 5 pounds of muscle or so. But those higher top ends, it's going to take a lot of work and dedication. That's why I tell people to make small changes over time. Like, don't completely change your diet and start going to the gym 6 days a week when you eat junk and you don't work out at all. Go pick something in your diet. Take out any kind of, don't climb up there. Any kind of drink with calories, cut it out. Only drink diet sodas. Cut out alcohol, which is easy for me because I don't drink. Some people that can be tough. Drink water. And go to the gym twice a week. Do a full, easy, full body workout. And try to walk like a mile a day. Those are little easy things you can do. And after a month you get used to it. Okay, now maybe I'm gonna cut out, you know, some kind of snack. If I'm gonna have a snack, it's gonna be a protein bar versus having a candy bar or chips or something like that if you're hungry. And that can make a big difference. And then maybe I'll add in like 3 days a week. I'll do an upper lower day and then a full body day. So you can get a little more emphasis on the various muscles. And if you like the gym, you know, the next month do something where you're doing 4 days a week, upper lower twice a week. But small steps that you do for 3-4 weeks, then add something else and add something else. And those lifestyle changes can help you lose the weight and keep it off. 12, okay, a year, senior year in 3 months. Yeah, but you just got to keep in mind, I remember being in college and how much work it took. But I mean, there's typically not classes on the weekends. I know how much people party in college and how much time they spend. You just got to decide what's more important to you. Like, it doesn't take more than 3 hours in a week to do 3 good gym sessions. And the rest of it with diet is just knowing what you should eat and tracking it and doing it. Like, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can control what goes into your mouth as far as food. And make good choices based on that. And then find the time to get in some time in the gym. And you'll see a big difference. But that was a long one today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll be doing the next one probably Friday, another push day. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll get that 210 for 11. We'll see how it goes. Appreciate y'all joining in. Sharia, thanks for all the questions and chats and everyone else. Appreciate it. Zabe and Steven. I've got other videos on the channel that I posted. I'll see y'all soon.